hydrated.
Running 5
Stay hydrated. Don't grab lots of fluids.
microphone, please.
It's not going to be real hot, but it'll. That's well, it does a number.
I probably think
Arms.
Have any...
Hi, Rick. How you doing? You're trying to get a good spot? Just sure to tell all your friends now. Find a soft spot in the bleachers for us. We'll be right back with you in a little bit.
Okay, buddy.
balance when you tip it anyway, and this thing will stay balanced. So.
How'd you get going into the start line?
They shoved me on it and told them on session 5. I'm like, I actually kind of like this.
Which track you doing?
Both. Only one starting on camera, so they're like, just get up close and personal. Get in. If there's a tool drive up, get in his cab. And
Oh, wow.
just do what you want, but also keep an eye out for Marvin in case he wants you to get out of the way. When are we going live? Got your spot picked down? Wait for everybody to see your last What? Yeah, he's gonna run 4 times if you can 5.
See, here we go. We're going to have national anthem here.
Track.
Well, good morning, pulling fans, and welcome to Rockwell, Iowa, here for the 2025 NTPA Grand National Circuit. As we have the North Iowa Nationals session number 2 coming this afternoon. We've got 4 classes of competition we're going to run here. Going to be a great show. I think we were at about 65 to 70 hooks. So going to be a great afternoon for pulling. My name is Dan Merrill. I'll be joined by Jason Schultz trackside here this afternoon as he will be running sidelines here tonight. And we'll send it down to Jason Schultz. He's got some visitors.
All right, here in Rockwell, and I see a couple guys walking around with these orange shirts that I recognize. And Chapel Hill's here. And the first thing I said to you, Phil, was the weather's a little nicer here than it is in Chapel Hill.
Much nicer. We even had to wear hoodies last night. And even left early because we was a little cold. It was 100 degrees when we left.
Joe, how are you involved with Chapel Hill? What are your main functions? Or I know it's a bunch of volunteers, but what do you focus on?
Well, this year I help with the track, and we go around to all these pools and try to talk to everybody and promote our next pool coming up.
And I think I have the dates here memorized. I said them like 4 times wrong when I was announcing down there. There we even got stickers. So if you want a sticker for Chapel Hill, find Big Shade here, Phil, and he will get you a sticker to put on your camper or your truck or whatever like that. Phil, you're the president of the Lions. Are you the president of the Lions Club?
I am. I'm president of the Lions Club. I'm on the track pool committee.
We were talking off air a little bit. I really, the biggest crowd I've ever seen there Saturday night in Chapel Hill. It felt like a football. It felt like Bowling Green, and that's no slap on your face to there. But there were people everywhere. There was more people behind out in that grassy area, your vendor activation area, watching the pool. It was insane, Phil.
Preliminary numbers, I think we sold more tickets ever than we have on a Saturday night. People were everywhere. The numbers looked great.
I can't hear you.
And we just had a phenomenal pool. I think the fireworks were a big part of that as well.
Yeah, the fireworks were amazing. So I love that a lot. What are some of your classes like when you guys come out to an event like this? I know are you going to have some fun, but like, what's the goal? Do you guys write down some things, or is it just promoting Chapel Hill, or what do you guys got going on?
Well, we try to, keep an eye out and see what everybody else is doing, how we can improve our show. Talk to people that we might look at trying to get in and different things.
Phil, what are you looking at?
Personally, I like the Superstock diesel 4-wheel drives, and we brought them in this year to do a little exhibition, and hopefully we'll bring them back next year.
Yeah, are you going to be able to, you guys sticking around all weekend, or what's the plan?
We'll be here through Saturday.
Okay. Yep.
Now Saturday afternoon show. And then we got to fly back to Tennessee.
It was nice and quiet.
And is it still really warm in Chapel Hill, Tennessee?
No, it's cooled off. It was 80 today. So
minutia.
At 10 o'clock last night, it was 88 degrees.
What the hell is minutia?
This is honestly like the first weekend we've had all year, and we've been all over the country where it isn't just stupid hot. It's been it's been a warm one all year.
Yeah. It's nice out here. It's really nice.
Trackside, aren't we, with opening
Don't be Chapel Hill for just be a fan, Joey. What are some of your favorite classes to watch?
Pro stock and super stock is what I really like.
I like where your head is. I like
to be able to watch the tractors, the black smoke, even the Alkies. I like that. But you can also enjoy the show without the earplugs. I just like the tractors.
What about you, Phil?
I like the 4-wheel drive Superstock diesels and the Superstock diesels tractors as well. But I'd like to say also, hats off to these guys here to get this track ready. Last night they was in a mess. I mean, it was a mess, and they came through. They got it done. And hats off to the hard work that was done by all these guys and our fellow Lions Club members.
I actually asked Tim Nearing when we did it. We had him on Countdown to Pull Time yesterday. I said, "Do you guys have like a little competition between Lions clubs?" And he just smiled because obviously he does it. We all work together on this, so it makes it great.
Yeah, it's good. It's it's good camaraderie. We're all trying to do better for our communities and the less fortunate. So it's good.
It's fun to be part of it with Full Pull and the NTPA. Chapel Hill is a special one. I talked to a lot of pullers in the past before I'd gone to Chapel Hill myself. I never went until I started working with Full Pull. And Esden Lane, I still remember that I did a podcast with him one night. I said, "What is your favorite pull?" Chapel Hill. And didn't even hesitate. And I said, "Why?" He said, "The hospitality." And you're like, whatever. And then you get down there, and it's just the Southern thing. You guys are sweet. You're nice, super welcoming. everybody. And I think it's honestly just the region of the country that you're in. A lot of yes, please, and thank yous and stuff like that.
It's the hot slaw.
It is a hot slaw. Now, fans, if you've never had Rojo's hot slaw, just have a dab. It's meant to be a relish, not a spoonful or a forkful.
They wouldn't let us bring it on the plane. They said it was too volatile.
That would happen. So you guys are sticking around all day today, and you're flying home tomorrow.
Yep. Tomorrow afternoon we're going to catch the afternoon session, and then we got to head back.
Good deal. What do you guys do? Like the poll's not till next July, but we know you don't just start planning these things 2 weeks. Do you guys have weekly meetings, monthly meetings? Kind of what do you do certain corners? I'm gonna say through the off season, Joe.
Oh yeah, it's we have 2 meetings a month, and then the subcommittee gets together probably at least once a month, and it's something all year long that goes into these pools, putting everything together, reaching out to all the people that you need, because it takes a whole community to come together to get everything right.
Phil, what's the kid's name that did the announcing for the Lions Club? He was really good.
Jamie Pratt.
Yeah, he did a really, really good job.
Yeah, Jamie's good. He's new to the announcing part for us. Tim Tips did it for years, and Tim turned it over to Jamie last year, and he's got a knack for that stuff.
He does a really nice job. We talked about it at one of our after-show meetings. So, well, hey, guys, thanks for your time. We appreciate you. Thanks for promoting one of the greatest pools in the world. I don't care. I'm going to say it. It is what it is. So keep up the good work.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, fans. So
Dan says to quit talking when he's trying to announce, but you two fuckers were just.
Looking to get the afternoon session started here, Rockwell, Iowa. Right now, we're just a couple minutes before the 12 o'clock hour. We're supposed to get rolling. Opening ceremonies will start right around this 12 o'clock noon Friday morning. A beautiful day of competition here in Rockwell, Iowa. Last night, if you fans were able to tune in to our show last night, we saw a great show. We started about 2 hours late. They had to scrape the track off a little bit, but yeah, it was worked out pretty well last night, and they're just finishing up some final preparations here. We got lines on the track here, as last night, you fans that were with us, you saw we just had dirt piles right in the middle. We had one big dirt pile down the middle, and we had them on both sides of the track, and those were our out-of-bounds markers. But here this afternoon, we got the track lined, and still haven't moved all that dirt back onto the track, but they're going to work it here this afternoon. We're going to run the four-wheel drives over on the grandstand side here this afternoon, and then over here on the pit side, we're going to have the super stock open tractors, we'll have the modifieds, and we'll finish out the afternoon with the 4-1 limited pro stock tractors. So,
all right, Larry,
four
what
classes
are we
of
doing?
competition.
Well, we're looking for purpose spot.
So it looks like we've got Jason Schultz down trackside with one of our drivers.
All right, down here, Larry Peterson. We're not going to make him stop and interview it, but we do want to walk with him. Just part of the crew. I want to be part of the ProFab team. Can I get a team shirt and hang out with you and Lisa?
Yeah, you sure can. We could use all the help we can get right now.
What are we looking for out here, Larry, when you're poking around on a track like this?
Well, on four-wheel drives with the small tires, we need a pretty firm base in it. So we're looking for any soft spots in the track.
So when you're going back and forth like this, I'm assuming you're just, are you putting in your head a certain, hey, at 200 feet it was good on the right side, good on the left side? Do you just kind of manually do that, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, basically, you got to find a groove where you can make a straight line, and you have to pick the least of the evils, and especially today on the track with all the weather that we had. So we'll have to watch a few in front of us and whatnot, and we'll get it figured out.
We'll keep walking. Over the years, I know you got the big win down in Chapel Hill. I just got done interviewing the guys down there. They came up to watch. It's neat to see the promoters from the other Grand Nationals and the Super Nationals travel around, Larry. I like that a lot. How Chapel Hill's track, is it a power track? Is it a fast track? How does a small tire guy like you judge a track?
Oh, Chapel Hill can be a really good power track. It's got a real good solid base to it. Different kind of dirt than here. We've always had good luck down there. It'll depend on the weather a lot too, if it gets hard or if it stays softer, but it's good.
I've heard a lot of people say if a track can grow 300 bushel corn, maybe it's not a good pulling track. And you look at this black dirt here. Do you think this is a good pulling track, Larry, or is it middle of the road, or where are you at with it?
Oh, and with the weather that they had come in here really screwed it up, but it can be a decent track. but today is going to be a challenge to drive on it.
Where are you at in the class, Larry?
Lisa's about 8th hook, and I think I'm about 20th, so at least I can see some.
How many total do you have in the class today, do you know?
I think there's 34 today, so.
Yeah, I know they're just running you guys on this track over here. Over the years, has Rockwell been good to you and Lisa?
It's been pretty good to Lisa, not so much me.
So maybe we can switch that up today?
I'm hoping so. I need it.
Okay, cool. We're going to get out of the way because they're going to scratch the track. So thanks, Larry. Back to you, Dan.
All right, thanks, Jason. As we are just about ready here for opening ceremonies to begin, as they're just going to scratch the track over on the grandstand side here this afternoon, as we've already got the pit side track already scratched in here a couple times. And after that, we'll start opening ceremonies and get this afternoon session underway. Session number 2 here in Rockwell, Iowa, here on Full Pull Live, bringing you all the action here from the North Iowa Nationals. And a great event here. Lots of competitors have made their way up to northern Iowa. We're about 2 hours south of the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. And a great crowd has made their way here to Rockwell. Lots of campers we see have made their way. And making their way into the grandstand there, we take a live shot at some of the competitors, the four-wheel drive competitors, looking at that track this afternoon before they attack it here tonight. I think we got about 37 of these modified four-wheel drives here tonight that we're going to be running on that track. 32 of them officially in our lineup this afternoon. Over on the Superstock Open side, we've got 7 of those tractors going to be running for us. We'll have 8 of the modifieds, a couple scratches in that class as well, and then we'll finish out with the 4-1 Limited Pro stock tractors. We got 18 those running for Region 3 points here with the NTPA. So the only non-Grand National class we'll see this afternoon will be those Limited Pro stock tractors, the 4-1s. As pretty much a who's who, we take a look at that lineup here of 4-1 tractors, and wow, yeah, they have come out in force here to Rockwell this afternoon. We see some many-time Region 3 champions like Kevin Lindstrom. We've got the big $50,000 winner, Dean Hollicky, with the killing time. He's down at the bottom of the field. We got Ray Heron, another competitor that is right there in the mix whenever he's out and running. We also got George Beyer from the other side of the Big River. He's joining us here this afternoon for some NTPA competition, so it should be a great class. We'll finish out with the Smokers over on the pit side here. So just a couple more minutes here. We'll get opening ceremonies underway here for session number 2 here in Rockwell as we take a look at the tracks right now. And a lot of work. Hats off to the track crew. They went to work after last night's show. We finished right around 1 o'clock last night, and they went right to work with the dozer and brought some more dirt out. We took out that middle dirt hill we had run down the middle of our tracks yesterday. They took that out, mixed it in here. And they have been, reports were they were out here till about 3 in the morning working, and then they started first thing this morning. So as we take a look here at the lineup shoot, some of our four-wheel drive competitors. As there we see the seldom seen Chevrolet, last week's big winner down in Brandenburg, Kentucky. So it looks like we've scratched that far track here, the grandstand side track here. And we got a couple more to go over there, and we'll be done with that track, and we'll get action underway here as we take a look at Brian Britt's truck there, the four-wheel drive competitor. So just a few more minutes here before we get things underway for session number 2. And we'll send it down to Jason Schultz. He's got another very important guy here in Rockwell.
All right, down here with Tim Nearing. Are you the president of the Lions Club, or are you just a tractor pull head? Why do I always end up talking to you, Nearing?
I am the president this year and also the chairman of the tractor pull committee.
I love it. Deep breaths. First night's over. Kind of dealt with all the issues from the rain that Mother Nature threw us. Guys pulled it off last night. You know, the most common thing I heard from the pullers, and we interviewed a lot of pullers last night on Full Pull Live, was thanks to Lion Club for trying. We all have to pull on the same track. What have you been hearing from like the NTPA and some of the other competitors?
Well, everybody's extremely appreciative of what we did to try and make a good show. I think it ended up being pretty good. Next 4 sessions are going to be amazing.
Yeah. You know, the weather's working out perfect for us. Again, we're going at noon today. 6 o'clock tonight, noon tomorrow, 6 o'clock Saturday night as well. Saw some of our biggest crowds ever last year. Obviously, we're hoping to beat those again. You know, Friday night and Saturday night are always our big nights.
Yeah, I'd be really surprised if we don't set records Friday and Saturday night. Got a nice little crowd here this afternoon, and I think tonight's going to explode.
Yeah, day crowds are always tough. We see it even like at the Granddaddy, the Mall, Bowling Green. I think people are still sleeping in their campers in Bowling Green, but you know, a lot of people are going to head out tonight, and they're going to take it all day tomorrow.
Yeah, they sure are. I mean, we've heard from so many places. People from Nebraska called this morning. They're on their way, and so it's just going to be a great show.
Yeah. As a promoter, the happiest thing in the world has to be, there's a camper rolling in right now. I mean, people are still coming in to look at the weather app and just, you know, because people see, 40%, 50%. Good. It's zero, baby. It's zero,
Thank
baby.
you.
It is beautiful out here.
Yeah, after the weather we had earlier in the week,
Thank you.
and then you see a 3-day stretch like that this year. What an amazing feeling for promoters.
Well, all right.
It makes you feel really, really good.
What
are some of your takeaways from last night?
You don't see her very often.
Kind of took a deep breath and you were driving home
rare
early this morning.
appearances.
Well, of course, there was some
We'll see you.
emotion
Good luck
as
this
we
afternoon.
first got
Keep it up.
going, But after that, the pullers were coming up and thanking us, and you know, a lot of promoters would have just pulled the plug and went on to the next day. But we wanted to get a show in and do it for the fans and the pullers alike.
Now, I noticed with the dirt, it looks like they worked some of the dirt that they had scraped off last night back into the track. Did they kind of work on it all night, or were you out early this morning? What's been the plan, Tim?
Yeah, they worked all night. Well, until about 4:30 this morning. They put about half of it back on the track. The goal is to put the other half on tonight after we're done, and we should be really, really good tomorrow.
Awesome. The pork sandwiches, is that your favorite thing to eat here? The thing that you gave me last night?
I don't judge food. I just eat it.
So my wife was excited because she said that the football team's doing like a taco tray or a taco salad. Have you been over there yet?
I haven't been over there, but it's world-class nacho platter. It's awesome.
So if somebody's watching this on social right now and they're coming out to Rockwell, maybe for the first time ever, what would you tell them to expect?
I would say what to expect would be just a family environment, all community, strong, working together to put on an amazing event. All the food vendors are nonprofit groups, so really no individuals making money on this event. It's all going back in the community to the kids, scholarships, you name it, but it's all for charity.
And you can buy tickets at the gate. It's okay.
Absolutely. Come to the gate. We'll sell you a ticket.
Well, can I still buy a camping spot, Tim, or is camping spots done?
There's still some spots out there. Not many, but there's some out there if you want to come.
Is this the biggest camping registration you ever had? It looked pretty full out there.
I think the weather scared it off a little bit, but we're pretty close to that, yeah.
Did you go walk through the campgrounds this morning, or were you too tired?
To be honest with you, I've been running my tail off since 6, so a couple hours sleep, but it's time to go.
Yeah. No, I know a lot of times you'll cruise through the campgrounds and thank all the pullers. The hospitality you guys have, it's amazing as well. Talked with Phil's here from Chapel Hill, Joe, I think Rojo's here, and Clint as well. I asked them if we were going to have a little Lions a little Lions Club battle off, and they said no, they're just happy to be here.
Yeah, I talked to them earlier yesterday, and that's what's amazing. We have kind of a fraternity amongst promoters. We all try to help each other out. I'll be going out to Bowling Green here in a couple weeks, and just to learn from them. And we've started this year bouncing off ideas. There's 6 of us promoters that get online together and discuss things, and we've just really gotten tight, so that's a great thing to do.
Well, when you're all working together to make it better, it's not a competition. It's how can we make our weekend the best weekend, and if you guys all work together like that, it's great.
Yeah, it's just like what Full Pull's trying to do for the pulling industry. We're just trying to make pulling great, and that's what you guys are doing, and we really appreciate that also.
That means a lot to us because we work hard. If you ever come into that trailer during a live stream, you'd think we all belong in a mental asylum.
I can only imagine.
No, but the spotlight we're trying to put on the pullers with all of our interviews and the promoters and helping you out. It's everybody. Because we're promoting a live stream, we're promoting an event. We want the number one thing is we want fans in the stands. We're all pullers as well. All of us are here, and we're part of it. So when we push it hard, it's good for you, and when you push it hard, it's good for us.
Yeah, I totally agree. We're all in this together. The fans, the pullers, the promoters, the media. We're all in this together just to make this sport as great as we can.
And like when a title sponsor like a Mort's coming on last year, Yeah, I think you said to me yesterday they signed a 5-year deal. Is that right?
It is, yes. And what an amazing sponsor to team up with us. They're the most community-minded company I've ever been associated with. They give so much back to the kids and to the communities. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, then we can, like when you bring a sponsor on like that, then we can come in with our big spotlight and almost give them a national exposure as well, which ultimately is good back for you, adding value back, and we're just a big team.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, a big family and team.
Do you know next year's dates yet?
6th, 7th, and 8th.
August 6th, 7th, and 8th. Is it on the rollers out there?
I believe it's 7th. Yeah, it is 6th, 7th, and 8th. Yep.
6th, 7th, and 8th.
Yes, it is.
Can they buy tickets for next year yet?
Not quite.
Not quite. What about camping?
Not yet.
Not yet.
We'll
Okay.
start soon.
But now would be a great time to check it out, right?
It would be. Yep, absolutely.
All right. Cool, Tim. We appreciate you. Thanks for being a promoter. Appreciate you. Back to you, Dan.
All right, so thanks again, Jason Schultz, and of course, promoter extraordinaire from the North Iowa Nationals, Tim Leering, joining us once again on our live stream as we're just about ready to get things rolling this afternoon. Just a couple minutes behind, but looks like we've got all the tracks ready to go here for competition here this afternoon as we'll begin session number 2 here on Full Pull Live. Once again, 4 classes of competition. As we get things rolling here, we'll have the modified 4-wheel drives over on the grandstand side. Over here on the pit side, we'll start off with the 8,000-pound Super Stock Open. They'll be followed by the modifieds, and then we'll finish out over here on this pit side here with the 4-1 Limited Pro Stock tractors. So lots of competition. Going to be a great show. And then, of course, we'll go at it again at 6 o'clock with session number 3. We're going to bring in, of course, the Super Stock diesel tractors. We'll have the Pro Stocks as well as the big Unlimiteds running tonight, so going to be another great show. So just a few more minutes. We'll start opening ceremonies here. We got Phil McIntyre as he will bring us our opening ceremonies. So once again, just waiting for things to get rolling here. So we see Phil McIntyre, Mr. Sinpico himself, making his way out onto the middle of the track here. He'll get things underway and kick things off as we see some of our modified 4-wheel drive competitors getting lined up as they're just going to be running this afternoon over on that grandstand track. So we got some of the other competitors out there checking the track out. Looks a lot better here than what we have seen from yesterday as they've got some of that dirt work back into the track.
With the rule number 19, so 10-point lead over John R. Davis. That's substantial.
So it looks like our sleds are set down there, and we are just about ready here to get Phil underway with his opening ceremonies. So we'll start this afternoon's competition. So some really good point battles we see going on in our classes. Now last night we saw the Super Stock Opens. We had a change in the points there as we see the diesel of Colin Ross take over that number 1 spot here over Terry Blackburn. Terry will move back to that number 2 spot, but just 1 point separating them right now. Under the influence, the team out of California will move up to number 3 in points. Considered armed and dangerous, that's Cody Chiswick's tractor. He'll be in that number 4 spot, tied with John Raymond. So that is our top 4 currently moving into this afternoon show. And then over on the modified side, once again, did have a change there. We did have a tie for that number 1 spot, but that is all changed after last night as Brandon Simon has pulled away in that number 1 spot with his 3rd victory on the season. We'll move Bill Leischner back to the number 2 spot with the Dirt Slinger. Steve Bunnage with a great run, number 3 last night. And he is moved up to that number 3 spot. Number 4 is the Giddy Up, and Jeff Rose with a nice run last night. And then rounding out our top 5, we've got the Ramblin' Rose and Tommy Owens. So that will be our top 5 over on the modified side. So those will be the 2 classes we saw last night. They're going to run early. A lot of those competitors running in both the Super Stock Open as well as the modifieds are going to get out of here early, head down to Mount Sterling, Illinois for another pull tonight. So they'll run those 2 classes first over here on the pit side and give plenty of time for those competitors to get down to Mount Sterling, Illinois for their second hook of the day. So great show ready to get underway here. So it looks like things about ready to get rolling here.
Kevin mentioned the Hyper Harvester from Wisconsin. 2 wins on the year. He's holding down the top.
So we see some of the great crowd there joining us this afternoon. Come out early here. Beautiful Friday afternoon. Perfect day to call in sick from work. Come out to the North Iowa Nationals. As we'll send it down trackside, Phil McIntyre.
North Iowa Nationals. It's hard to believe this is our 17th year of being out here doing this. We started out with a one-night region show several years ago. I think they moved it up to 2 nights for a few years after that. And all of a sudden it's a 5-session Super National. By golly, one of the biggest shows in the country right out here in North Iowa. Our presenting sponsors tonight, or all weekend actually, Mort's Water, Mort's Plumbing and Heating. Promoters are Rockwell Lions, and many volunteers to put this thing on. If you see them running around, shake their hand, tell them thanks a lot for all the hard work. A little bit of housekeeping before we start out. I think they talked about this earlier. Steffes auction tonight and tomorrow night are going to auction off a pedal tractor right out here on the track at intermission. So that's always a lot of fun. If you're in the pedal tractors, you want to be here for that. They bring some pretty good money. It all goes to charity, so that's a nice deal. The food stands, pork loins, steak sandwich. I think they have pork loins this afternoon just tonight at the Rockwell Lions food stand. Also Pepsi products, adult beverages, water, that type of thing. It's going to get kind of loud out here this afternoon, so if you got some youngsters with some tender ears, the NTPA booth is right over here behind the TV screen. They do have earplugs over there. I think they're $1 a pair or something like that. Pretty cheap insurance. So also they have the event T-shirts, that type of stuff, all the good stuff you want to take home. Give the kids a $50 bill, send them over there, get them out of your hair for a while. Also, the full pull booth is over there. They are also live streaming the whole weekend. If you've got some friends that can't be here, www.fullpulllive, and they would be able to watch this right on their TV. They also have T-shirts and earplugs, that type of thing, beer money caps, that type stuff. The Scouts are over there with popcorn and Pepsi products. Football team, the West Fork Warhawk backers. Nacho stand over here. You can get a whole big plate of nachos and a couple drinks for $25. That's pretty good buy. The church groups, we had some of their pie last night. We had some blueberry pie from the church groups. They're right over here also on the east side. Stop over and have a piece of pie and some ice cream over there for them. So as we get going here this afternoon, what's going to happen out on the track, we are going to bring the winners from each class out and interview them down there in the Angry Farmers Winner's Circle. I'll be down there doing that. The other guys will be up there doing all the hard work. I get to talk to all the happy people. That's a pretty nice deal. We're running a 350-foot track measured out to 350 feet. You see it? They have to stay inside the chalk line all the way down the track. If they touch the chalk with their vehicle tire, they are disqualified. Floating finish all afternoon, big classes. We're going to float to finish. 100-foot restart as usual. First puller is the test puller in each class. It gives the officials and the sled operator a chance to look at the sled settings and make sure they're happy with the way things are looking. So last night we had them right out there, 340, 350. The guys did a great job last. Who all was here last night? Anybody? Well, you know what kind of shape the track was in last night. This is gorgeous this afternoon. We started a couple hours late last night because Mother Nature thought we needed all that rain earlier this year. They took a lot of this, moved it off, had a big pile here in the middle, and ended up making a heck of a pulling track out of it. So, doing the measuring today up in the NTPA trailer, Tate Moore doing the laser measuring up there. Flagman and Tex, Marvin's our show manager. We also got Dale, Harold, Tom, John, Pete, Jeremy, Jay, and Christine doing the checking and the flagging for us all weekend. Benny Dietzel up there keeping those guys honest, doing the numbers. From NTPA, the headquarters, we'd like to thank Greg Randall, Dan Shore, and Rick Austin from the WPI board for being here all weekend. Glad to see that. NTPA trailer and the videos, Roger and Rusty Wysong and their crew. Up in the announcer stand, we got Charles and Darren up there, and Chris will be running around talking to pullers and talking to the people in the stands. So should have a real good afternoon of pulling. How many people been sitting there? I'm going to give you a little test. If you understand tractor pulling, which side of the track are the four-wheel drive pullers going to pull on? Oh, you guys are sharp. You saw them out here testing the hardness with their little pokers. We got a bunch of four-wheel drives. We're going to donate one whole track to them this afternoon right over here on the west side. On the east side, we are pulling Superstock opens to start, modified tractors, and then the 4-1 Limited Pros over here on the east side. So 4 classes this afternoon. I think we got 80-some hooks in 4 classes. So it'll be a full afternoon. So before we get started, if you'd all direct your attention to the screen up there, we're going to play a little song to honor America.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Who died, who gave that
me goosebumps every time I hear that song. Sit down, folks. We got a couple more things to do yet. Caleb, you want to come on out here? Doing our color guard again this year is the Legion Post 208. Give those guys a round of applause if you would. Our presenting sponsor with the flags are Morse Plumbing and Heating and Morse Water. Got a few more people here in the stands that we like to honor when we do a show out here. Without them doing what they did when they did it, we would not be here enjoying a nice afternoon at Rockwell. I'd like to ask all the military veterans to please stand up.
The babies.
I know there's some of you up there. Please stand up if you would and be honored. Always remember, folks, it's the veteran, not the preacher, who has given us freedom of religion. It is the veteran, not the reporter, who has given us freedom of the press. It is the veteran, not the poet, who has given us freedom of speech. It is the veteran, not the campus organizer, who has given us the right to protest. It is the veteran, not the politician, who has given us the right to vote. It is the veteran who salutes the flag, who serves beneath the flag, and whose coffin is draped by our flag, that allows the protesters to burn our flag. To all the men and women currently serving in the armed forces, and all who have served, I have two words. Thank you. Doing our national anthem for us again this weekend, Caleb Rubens, if you'd all please rise. Gentlemen, please remove your hats. As we listen to our national anthem, please keep in mind the men and women who are away from their families, doing the hot, dirty, dangerous work so that we can be here in Rockwell enjoying a nice, safe summer afternoon.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we march, where so gallantly streaming, and the rocky track led, the bombs bursting in and gave through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Caleb Rubens, folks, does an awesome job with the tough song to sing. I think we're ready to go. We get our color guard marched off there. Give those guys one more round of applause if you would. They deserve it, earned every bit of it. I think we're ready to go pulling. You guys ready to go pulling? We got a good show this afternoon lined up. Guys, you're on. Charles, take it away.
Thank you, Phil.
All right, fans, well, we're live streaming to the world right here on Full Pull Live. I'm Dan Mayer, going to be joined by Jason Schultz down trackside, and it's shaping up. We saw last night, going to be a great weekend of competition here as we'll get session 2 underway here this afternoon. as we'll bring in our weight transfer machines and get ready to go. And looks like the competition just ready to get underway here this afternoon with the modified four-wheel drive trucks. We'll run them over on the grandstand side here this afternoon. Over here on the pit side, we will run our Super Stock Open class. We saw them run for the first time yesterday. And let's see if we can send things down trackside to Jason Schultz with a report. Take it away, Jason.
Down here in the heat of action track, down here track shine. We're in the heat of it all here in Rockwell, Iowa, ready to go pounding out. It's Friday afternoon. We got Dan Mayer sitting over in the corner over there. He's going to be bringing over that. He's right in the middle of it all. And that's what we're trying to bring you here at Full Pull Live. Now, if you watched last night, I got a lot of text messages and people checking on social media. What happened to the track last night? Well, they had 10 inches of rain in the last week. So they thought they were going to be okay. Then they started rolling the track last night and the sled just sank in. So they came out with all the skid steers and the dozers and they cleaned off the top, honestly, couple feet of the track and pushed it to the middle and to the side. And then until 4:30 this morning, they worked to work half of that dirt back in. As you're watching the live stream here today from Rockwell, Iowa in Session 2, you're going to notice that half of that dirt is gone. The middle is what we would look like a normal pulling track now. There is other dirt off to the side, and they're going to try to work some of that over there. So you're starting to hear some noise rumble in the background. We got a great show for you here today. I can't wait to work with Dan Mayer. We're going to bring you as many driver interviews as we can. So we're kicking it back to Dan.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Jason. And we've got a special guest this afternoon going to join us here for the Super Stock Open class. We're joined by Brandon Phillips. And Brandon, good to have you on hand this afternoon.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. I'm glad to be here. Definitely some really nice weather we're having so far at Rockwell. So look forward to keeping that coming. So, Dan, looks like you have some parts here on the table.
Yeah, well, these we acquired these in Toma.
Okay.
And actually, we've got a box in the trailer, just accumulating parts here as the season goes on. So hopefully, none of these are yours yet. We hope we don't see any of those.
We want to keep all the parts inside the engine that's supposed to belong there.
So this afternoon, we've got the 350-foot track, approximately 40 feet wide as your normal two-lane highway. We're about ready to go and modified. Four-wheel drive, 6,200 pounds will be the maximum weight. Of course, all the pulling classes determined by weight. Brandon, we're ready to go here. Four-wheel drive pulling, and it looks like we're going to have Scott Kempe, the Intense Expense, let me say that fast, out of Bloomer, Wisconsin, going to be our test puller here this afternoon. He's going to get things started. All right, so number one hook here in our modified four-wheel drive class. Now, Brandon, last night we saw you out in a skid steer helping out last night. Of course, you guys have a relatively large excavating company down there in Kentucky, and, thanks for helping out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's, I like to say that's what we're here for. And just the pulling community in general, we're all out here to help each other. Yeah, we compete against each other, and we want to beat the other guy just as much as they want to beat us. But at the end of the day, if somebody needs parts, we're here. And if somebody needs a track built or help, run equipment, we can do that too. So, but no, really good hook there on the four-wheel drive class. And looks like we got Cody Cheesick coming up on the Open Supers.
Yeah, 8,000 Super Stock Open class. As we had a scratch, last night's winner, Scott Whitworth, not able to join us. So Cody Cheesick going to be our test puller here out of Newton, Wisconsin, considered armed and dangerous. Oh, Brandon, he was tight up against that right-hand chalk line. Now, for those fans that don't know, Brandon, his family, you guys run three light super stock tractors you guys got in the shop. And how many did you bring up here to Iowa?
So we brought two with us. We brought the John Deere Straight Jacket, and then we brought the Puma 210 of Extremely Insane. My dad will be driving that one. So we run tonight and tomorrow night. So we definitely look forward to that. And nice run there by Cody. It maybe come out just a little bit soft. It seemed like he had it loaded pretty good there, but we'll see what he does there, whether he keeps it or turns it down.
All right, so over on the four-wheel drive side, we got the distance for Scott Kempe here at 3:08:40. 3:08:40 will get us started. And they tell us he is going to turn that run down. So as our test puller, he did take that option. So right then and there, Brandon, he's telling us that track's going to get better here as the afternoon rolls along.
Yeah, and, something with this track, of course, the dirt that was piled up in the center of the track last night, They had laid back down this afternoon. And, it might not be fully set in yet. It might still need a few passes to be real nice and firm. So, I would say, with a large class of four-wheel drives, there would be a pretty good chance that it could get better towards the end of the track.
Okay, so they tell us we're going to make a change over on the four-wheel drive side. We're going to lighten things up a little bit here and get these pullers down a little bit further down the track. So we had 3:08 and 40 for Scott Kempe with the intense expense. And they're going to make a change right there. So want to get these pullers out about that 3:30 is kind of the magic number, it seems like, lately.
Yeah, I think, last night, Scott Whitworth, he was up and over that 370.
He was 380, yeah. So great run.
Yeah, it was.
So Cody Chiswick goes 3:01 and 32 to start off the Superstock Open class. We'll get the word from trackside whether or not going to take that run over there on the right side. The Superstock Open class. So down to 6 entries in the Superstock Open class here this afternoon. As we mentioned, Scott Whitworth going to be scratched, last night's winner with that John Deere. So it looks like we'll move on over to the four-wheel drive side. Rick Johnson, Powell, Wyoming, with the bad bow tie, will now be our new test puller. And we got a lot of weights moving around back there.
Yeah, they are moving quite a few weights. So, Wyoming. I talked to Rick earlier. He said this was the closest hook he comes to. And I was like, well, as far as on the Grand National Circuit,
yep.
it is. I was like, well, that's quite interesting. I would like the opportunity to pull in Wyoming. I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, one state I haven't been to, Wyoming, and I'd like to get out there one of these times, and that's that northern part that haven't got up there. But, the Johnson family, for a long time have come out of, that Powell, Wyoming. Dad Larry Johnson, many years ago, the old rig, early model Chevrolet, and good to see the Johnson family. They've had some success here on the NTPA Grand National Circuit over the years, and good to see them make these events close to their Wyoming. Not really a hotbed for four-wheel drive pullers, but they do come out and definitely run strong. So making a change there, and take a look. We're moving that sled way over here towards the middle. I'm kind of surprised by that. We talked about that big pile of dirt they had working in the middle part of the track and kind of work that into the track, but going to come out here and of course, every puller has that option where you put the sled on the start line, and he's going to put it right up against the left-hand chalk line. So we're going to learn a lot right here.
Yeah, absolutely. That was that's one thing I always found interesting with all of us pullers. One may pick one line, one may pick the other, whether it be the right-hand side, the middle, the left-hand side, and they all seem to make them work with the setups that they can do with the track conditions. So that's part of pulling that is enjoyable, just watching everyone kind of make it work, and all the different ways to make it work.
All right, so 2002 Chevrolet here out of northern Wyoming. As Rick Johnson going to be our new test puller. He will have that option, as we did change that weight transfer machine or sled, and get things underway this afternoon on the four-wheel drive side. Once again, we've got a field of 32 of them to run over here on that grandstand track. I think that's where they want to be over there on the four-wheel drive side. Is good run there for Rick Johnson. We see a little smoke there at the end of his run.
Yeah, hopefully nothing too major there, but yeah, that was an excellent run.
So first hook here for the four-wheel drives this afternoon is we'll bounce it back over on the Superstock Open side, as we'll have Terry Blackburn, Shullsburg, Wisconsin. We talked earlier in our show about how we had a change in points. The second hook was finished last night, and Colin Ross took over that number one spot in points. Just 1 point over Terry Blackburn, who moved back to that number two spot. So, yeah, I think that's going to be a war here all year long.
Absolutely. Not only is it diesel versus alcohol, but it'll that first and second, I'm sure, will just go back and forth all year. So it's good to see these guys running together. I know the crowd loves it. The fans absolutely go crazy over it, and really good.
So Terry Blackburn, Shullsburg, Wisconsin, the extremely armed and dangerous. This is the 903 Cummins, the V8, only one we got in the class this afternoon. Of course, a four-time Grand National champion with this tractor here over the years. And going to work that right side once again. right, good run there for Terry Blackburn, but we did hear about a half track or so got up on one wheel there, I would have to say.
I think he had to get on the brake there just a little bit, which allowed that left tire to come up out of the ground. And yes, as you said, one wheel, so kind of lost some momentum there, but tractor definitely sounded good. And it looks like he's going to be in front of Cody, but hopefully that holds up.
All right, so did make a change over here on the pit side with the Super Stock Open class, and Terry is going to turn that run down. So we got a distance here of 3:13 and change. We'll get officially the distance here on the replay. But as you said, got on that brake and kind of upset the tractor a little bit there. So Terry finishing up number 4 last night, so 3:13.08, and he is going to drop that as our test puller. So we'll bring him on back.
He's got 2 tractors to cool off pretty quick here with only 6 in the class. They're
dropping like flies. I think we're down to 5 now. We had Barry Elliker that was supposed to be out, and he did not make it. Boy, been heavy attrition here on the Super Stock Open class. Now, Brandon, let's talk about what you got going on here this afternoon. Going to be running the light Super Stock class. That'll be tonight.
Yep. So we look forward to that. I think Dad is 5th hook, and I am like 12th or 13th hook. So definitely look forward to that. You got a good class of light supers here. I believe there's 15 or 16 here. So definitely happy with that. I think we had nearly 22 or 23 in Brandenburg. So nice class of them down there. And looking forward to tonight. And a great show that I'm sure we'll have. So
coming off your hometown pull. And tell the fans how you did down there for the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. So much hotter down there. Absolutely much hotter. But let's see, Friday, so we had all 3 tractors down there. And so Friday we were 4th, 5th, and 7th, I believe. And then Saturday we was back a little bit. Dad was 4th with the Insanity. And then there was like 7th and 9th, I think is where it was, somewhere right around in there. And any time you can make respectable passes in your hometown hook, I mean, it just you'll take them and be more than happy with them, and that's where we were. So we looks like we got some good vehicles coming here to the track now.
For sure. We got Dean Christensen up next here, Cumberland, Iowa, with the red hot 1988 Ford Ranger. And, boy, you fans will recognize this truck here. Long-time vehicle running here in the Midwest. Of course, started with Gary Saline out of Nebraska years ago. He built this truck and kind of went through its different owners. But the Christensens have run it here the last so many years. And good to see it out in competition here this afternoon. The Red Hot out of Cumberland, Iowa. Once again, all chasing that distance there of Rick Johnson. He was our test puller here.
Now, do they have 2 trucks?
They do, yes. They'll have the Nut and Honey out a little bit later on.
Okay.
Yep, that'll be Nick's truck a little bit later on. Nick always gives me a hard time because he's always eating ice cream somewhere. And, he'll come up and, we got to do our work. We can't just sit and eat ice cream. So he always makes that known. But great run for the Ford. Wow, he really got a hold of it. Down that left-hand sideline here.
Yeah, it looks like we got Colin coming up now, so we sure do expect a great pass out of these guys. Colin and Jody both, they do an excellent job with this tractor.
Yeah, the triple bypass here out of Waynesburg, Pennsylvania, the southwest corner of Pennsylvania. Of course, Colin, a second-generation puller. We see him kind of getting nestled in there to the roll cage. As we talked about last night, finished up number 2 in the class and took over the points lead coming into this afternoon. So the only diesel in the class here, 8,000-pound Super Stock Open class, or 650 cubic inch max on these tractors. They're allowed up to 4 turbochargers. And it can be diesel, alcohol, you name it. Wow.
Yep.
Once again, triple bypass. Colin Ross lays down an awesome pass this afternoon here in Iowa. Wow. Now, talked to Colin yesterday about the smoke out the front there.
Yep.
And he says, no concern. He says that's just the amount of water they're running. It's more or less steam coming out the front there. So I have seen that the last how many passes here with the triple bypass. And, yeah, he says that's what that issue is there. Nothing to worry about. But we'll wait here on the numbers here for them as we take a look at the replay here of the Red Hot and Dean Christensen, that great run for the Ford Ranger. As the numbers will come in here. So it looks like 3:48 and 16. 3:48 and 16 for Dean Christensen over on the modified four-wheel drive side.
This is an interesting distance for Colin coming up here, too.
Yeah, we're going to see what comes up here for Colin Ross, as he is looks to be right about that 350-foot mark down there, as we're kind of at a severe angle down here. But we'll get the numbers in here for him. There you go, 3:48 and 81. So we'll take over that number one spot. Well, actually, we'll set the mark to beat here in the class. So 3:48 and 81.
So I wonder, Colin's tractor seemed to shut off fairly quickly when he got down to the end. He may have been letting off of it, so hopefully that's all it was, and then got loaded up with fuel and water. But hopefully there's nothing wrong there, and he can live to pull another day. So I know their maintenance program on that tractor is very, very good, and most every time it always makes a pass down the track, and a strong pass at that. So.
Yeah, so we will see here. Of course, got to run tonight the Super Stock Diesel class, as Colin's right in the battle for that class as well. So, say more or less a save the parts and save the equipment, move on.
That's it.
So as we move back over on the four-wheel drive side, Rob Foster out of Fairgrove, Michigan with the Simply Red, as he will make his way to the starting line here. Currently sitting number 9 here in points, but of course had that big $50,000 to win in Farley, Iowa back in the early part of June. Well, when you got the flagman backing up, I think this track just going to get better and better as we move along, isn't it?
That, that was an excellent pass. And Rob been at it as long as he has. Very, very smart, and getting the truck set up and picking a spot in the sled and the track, and able to make that happen. Yeah, that's an excellent pass. So.
Yeah, so we'll take a look here at the replay. This is going to be, 386 and 15. I think we may have a reset coming here, as I think that track is going to get better and better here. And we don't have a whole lot of runoff room here in Rockwell. So
no, that's testing the limits there. So, you got to kind of keep your safety barrier in between, literally the safety barrier and the pulling vehicle, just to have that if needed scenario.
So 386 and 15 for Rob Foster, Fairgrove, Michigan, as he will stretch it out here a little bit further. We'll move the Christensen truck we thought was an excellent run, and it was. Absolutely. Right about that 350, but boy, you put 36 feet on top of that, it's like, wow. Yeah, things are really starting to come in here for this track. And, we have talked about this track, throughout the days, and the different years running here and how it dried out during the afternoon. And so we will, obviously got some moisture in it, as it looks like we'll have Jason Schultz. He'll have a word with our new leader over on the four-wheel drive side.
Rob Foster, new leader in the four-wheel drive. You spent all your $50,000 that you won in Farley on fertilizer. 386. Do you think they're going to reset the sled? Do you think they're going to let you guys run?
I would hope they would watch one more, because I think my motor's hurt. But it actually stayed hooked up, and it really was hauling ass. So I hope they leave it.
It was a monster pass. You looked like a bullet coming out of a gun, Rob.
That's what it felt like.
Well, that's what it looked like.
Thank you.
When you say you think you hurt the motor, what could have possibly happened?
Valve train, I'm assuming it acted like it dropped the cylinder. I don't see oil leaking out, so I'm hoping it's just valves.
Well, I hope everything's okay. Good luck, bud.
All right, so we'll take a look here. Well, got a quick look underneath the truck there, but as we head on over Superstock Open side, out to California, Dylan Babel and Hillmar, California with the Under the Influence John Deere. Of course, the Babel family of Dad Allen for so many years would come out and run some of the Grand Nationals as well as the Farm Show. And good to see him back on the tour.
Absolutely.
All right, so Dylan worked the middle part of the track here. We really haven't seen anybody go down the middle. There we saw the first couple working that right side. Colin was about halfway between the right side and the middle there. And Dylan Babel comes in here number 3. Climbed up in the points a little bit after last night's number 5 run in the Superstock Open class. But, yeah, good to see this John Deere 7920 and putting on the miles.
I was going to say it really is dedication from these guys. I know they're keeping their equipment at Rex Kuhn's house, but still, just logistically traveling back and forth, that is a task in itself. So interesting kind of backstory on this chassis, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
So Tim Engler built this chassis. And the very first light Superstock chassis that Tim Engler built was also my dad's. And these two chassis were being built at exactly the same time.
Okay.
And Tim did a great job with that chassis, and then this one has been hanging right in there as well. So, if I'm not mistaken, I believe these guys are almond farmers. Is that correct?
Yes, out there in just east of San Jose, California.
Yep.
Hillmar, California. They kind of promote some other events out there as well, trying to keep that pulling going out in California. And, last year had the opportunity to go out to the big pull in Madera, California. They're at the racetrack,
Yep.
and boy, you think California pulling, and they really have a lot of good equipment out there, and hopefully we'll kind of bridge that gap between the West Coast and. Maybe we'll see some action out further out there.
Yep.
Out in the West, the fans are hungry. That's for sure. They love the pulling action.
Yep. Yeah, that'll be really cool to see. Start kind of covering from East Coast to West Coast.
All right, back over on the four-wheel drive side, we should have Mike Mankey, Arlington, Wisconsin, and the Foolish Farmer. Another forward entry. Good call. Rob Foster had mentioned about with his interview down there, that, hey, engine may be hurt, and he hopes they watch one more vehicle. So you can see right there, going to be a little bit short to that 386.15.
A good truck, a good team. It's been around for a while, so they do a really good job with their truck.
Of course, Dad Tom, longtime puller, and Mike kind of took over the reins, as many have over the years, the next generation. So 371 and 63 will be the distance. 371 and 63 for Mike Mankey here this afternoon with that Foolish Farmer, 79-ish model Ford. So right there we start seeing the distances kind of work their way back a little bit.
Yep. So, Dan, where's the next Grand National Hook y'all are going to?
Next Grand National Hook I'll be at will be Bowling Green.
Bowling Green.
Okay. I'll be at the next one there. And how about you guys? You guys, the light super class, will make their way Bowling Green, right?
Yep. So we'll be at Bowling Green. I know they got Napoleon between there. So, but we will actually not be pulling there. They don't have our class. So we'll actually go straight to Bowling Green.
And, of course, here in Rockwell, Iowa, over the years, you guys had a lot of success up here. I know Dad loves coming up here.
Yeah. So, the first year they actually had Light Supers here. Let's see, I think it was the first time my dad's ever drove the John Deere. He got first with his tractor and then was third or fourth with the John Deere, and then Saturday was a rain out. And then last year I was second both days with the John Deere, and Dad was down in the pack a little bit. We were fighting some turbo issues and had got those figured out. So, we love coming up here. Of course, as you mentioned, everything that we kind of do is East Coast, Kentucky, Indiana. Ohio mainly. And so anytime we can come west, we always enjoy it.
And, of course, things pretty busy on the construction type. And you guys got a new venture, you and your wife.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about that.
So the construction company, I'm going to call it 98% there. The other two avenues, of course, take up time as well. But yeah, we employ just right at 100 people there at the construction company. So really do anything but buildings. We don't want to get involved in buildings. We do have a building division, but it's completely separate from us. And then so Tori's kind of baby that she takes care of is the wedding and event center. So we can house up to about 150 people per event, and we really enjoy that. I mean, it's a place where people come to have a good day and to be happy. You know, it's kind of a major offset from the construction industry for sure. So usually nobody's ever in a bad mood when they're there, so that always makes it nice.
That's a good, and what a beautiful facility. I know I've seen the pictures on Facebook, and you probably have a website for it as well.
Yeah, so Phillips Grove. And that'll find you everything on there. You know, we do anything from company parties to big companies, kind of like training centers and mainly weddings. So, there at Phillips Grove, we do enjoy that a lot. And then of course we have a commercial center behind it that, just kind of we wanted some shops that would go along with the venue. So. Just giving something for vendors.
Very cool. Danny Johnson on the start line here, Baxley, Georgia. Southeast Georgia here with the Desperado 1966 Ford. Well, new wrap design on this truck we saw in Tomah, Wisconsin, as Danny Johnson makes his run. First of two trucks they'll have in their team here this afternoon as we see the 66 Ford make his run. Going to be short to that 386.15 we saw with Rob Foster this afternoon. That's looking pretty stout now.
It is. Yeah, Rob's looking pretty good and setting pretty good. Here we got Cody Cheezick coming up too.
Yeah, tough break there. Cody Chizik with his considered armed and dangerous here. That's the inline six-cylinder. We talked about that yesterday. You know that years ago they used to run a couple of them, and you can see Cody is. He's given a what for? Not.
That's it's interesting. It's unfortunate for sure. One thing that'll kind of happen with these tractors is when they're hot and you don't get them cooled back off, clutches are hot, engines are hot, they won't take as much fuel, and he's doesn't appear
he's very animated.
Happy.
Yes, I guess we would call that animated there, as we've seen about 10 what for so far here.
Yeah. So unfortunate, Dan, but hopefully they can get that thing lined out and be good to go.
So, he's got his helmet off there, and, definitely still not happy with that run. 183 and 77, 183 and 77. As Cody will be double duty here this afternoon, as we'll see him later on tonight, as he'll be in his light super. Imagine Terry will drive the one, and Cody will take the reins of the other one.
So Cody drove both of them in Brandenburg, only because Terry was at
sitting in the rain with us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So. Cody, he's done very well, which, of course, anytime you've seen these tractors, you've seen Cody even years past, and when he was finally able to get in the driver's seat, always has done a really, really good job, and has two great mentors, his dad, Mike, and then Terry Blackburn, of course. When you think of Terry and you think Blackburn Racing Components, you just think of championships and consistency. So they do a really, really good job.
Well, we'll send it down to the start line here. Jason Schultz has got a report for us.
All right, down here trackside with Shannon Leishner. Mods pull again today. They pulled last night. I heard that Matt's tractor, Dirt Slinger 1X, had to scratch, correct?
That is correct, yeah. We dropped a valve, fifth pass on the new motors.
It was great to see it go down the track. Is Matt getting some confidence in the seat?
Yeah, we made a lot of changes before we came here. We wanted to take it to Fort Recovery last weekend, but with the forecast, and I was out on the road doing a lot of work for some other guys, so we didn't get a chance to take it. But pretty good right now, I think. It's coming around. We'll see. Hopefully by Bowling Green, he's get a couple more good passes on it.
Dad's tractor, the Dirt Slinger, last night finished in 9th. Anything wrong? Was it the track? What are your thoughts? Just be honest. I see the smile. It is what it is. We're trying to sell it. Shannon, tell me the truth.
Never got over half throttle. He was nervous about the track from the beginning. He wanted the drawbar down even lower than where we put it. None of us agreed on what to do with it. The man's been out here forever. He knows what he feels, so you can't really say anything bad about the driver. Being where I'm at, I'm always like, I think you can go more and more, but I mean, he obviously felt something, so yeah, we're going to try to make some adjustments for today.
No, I appreciate the honesty of that because you don't want to ever offend anybody, but everybody has to pull on the same track, and our viewers at home really want to hear this side of it, so we really appreciate you doing that.
Well, I mean, the track was definitely tricky last night. I love those tracks when I get to be in the seat. I wanted to be in the seat so bad last night. But it is what it is, and today we're going to make some changes, and we got a lot of ground to make up on Brandon. He's been running really well this year. Yeah.
Good luck today, bud. Thank you.
All right, Brandon, so, a father and son pulling team, and I'm sure you guys have had that situation where you had them conversations back and forth, I'm sure, right, on setups?
Absolutely. It's and that's the thing with our class, and any class anymore, Dan. I mean, just one little mistake leads to a detrimental outcome, and so you always try to ride that fine line, and you want to do your best, but sometimes we have to agree to disagree. I'm just thankful that my dad and I are pulling together, and then my brother is as well. And anytime that we can all be together and go tractor pulling, it's something that we all enjoy. So we just do what we can.
There you go. Well, Stacy Hasey up next here, Manchester, Iowa. The borrowed parts not too far from home. As we got this 1969 Chevrolet, we've seen it up in Toma. Some of the northern events here.
Yeah, hopefully she has a little bit better luck than she did in Toma.
Real nice run for her here, and you talking about Toma, who had the bounce situation there, and really quite a few of the four-wheel drives got the hopping out there, and some a little worse than others. But but here so far early, we haven't seen the bounce develop, and hopefully it does not develop here for these four-wheelers. They need a break from that.
Yep, they do. Yeah, super nice run there. So Dan, you may have to educate me on this, but I do know DJ Sullivan is also involved, and is that family to Jason?
I believe so. Okay. I believe,
Okay.
I believe they're involved there with them couple trucks there.
Yeah.
And of course, Jason we'll see in the two-wheel drive class later on tomorrow afternoon. They'll run. Good run there. 3:53 and 60 will be the distance. 3:53 and 60 for Stacy Hasey. As we'll put her in that number 4 spot here this afternoon as our big field of 32 four-wheel drives running.
So back to your question there on pulling against my dad. Tyler Slaw, we actually had this conversation once, and it was one of those that I feel like we're in a similar situation. He gets to run with his dad, I get to run with my dad, and I get asked a lot of times, if there was one person you want to beat, who would it be? And Tyler, actually, I'm going to steal this from Tyler because he was the first one to ever say this. And he said, well, I want to beat my dad because that means we'll be first and second. So that's a very good way of saying that.
There you go, yes.
If that was the only way to end up first and second, I'll take it. And, we do. We have a good time. So my mom and my wife and my son are able to be here with us as well. So try to make it a family affair, being 13 hours away from home. So we all travel together and enjoy pulling.
All right, so waiting on the extremely armed and dangerous there, Terry Blackburn. As we see him sitting in the seat, he's all strapped in, ready to go, so just waiting for the call. Going to be our final competitor here in the class, and we got another report down there trackside from Jason Schultz.
All right, fans down here with Kevin Lindstrom. one of the toughest 4-1 tractors on the circuit. Anywhere he goes, he's always tough to beat. He kicked my butt many times here in Rock Valley. Kevin, how many hooks do you have this weekend here in Rockwell, Iowa?
This will be 2 hooks. We got this afternoon and then Saturday night.
Saturday night. Do you think it's going to be the left line like it is every year?
It don't look like it so far this weekend, but, we just watched last night and so far today, but nobody's been over here to try it. So
they've definitely moved the dirt around a lot more than they have in the past.
Well, we're pulling on dirt we haven't pulled on for a few years, that's for sure. I mean, they said last night that dirt was stuff we had 10 years ago, so.
You definitely are a storied, decorated puller just in general, but the 401 class, how's the tractor been running so far this year for you, sir?
Pretty good. We've had a couple of good breaks here the last couple of hooks. Sometimes luck goes your way, sometimes it don't, but we've had a little luck on the last couple of hooks. Today's another day, so we'll see. The class has definitely got a lot tougher. There's no doubt about it.
It's really, really tough.
Yeah, you got to have your game on and stuff, and like I said, a little luck on your side, and that makes a hell of a difference. So,
how many do you have in the class today, Kevin?
18, I think, what I counted. And we might pick a couple up tomorrow. I talked to the Boza boys, and if they live tonight in Lincoln, they're coming tomorrow. So as long as, it'll be a good class.
Awesome. Thanks for your time, Kevin, and good luck.
All right, so Kevin Lindstrom, one of the toughest in that limited pro class. As we move on over four-wheel drive side now, we got Ike Zering listed there, but going to be Jake doing the driving of both trucks this afternoon. So going to drive his son's bucket list truck here this afternoon. We see Ike making his way down the end of the track in the support vehicle, so Jake's going to take over the drive. And we've seen him do this from time to time.
Yep, absolutely. He's been around a while.
Oh, yeah, just a little bit. Of course, he's earned that moniker, Crazy Jake, over the years, but nice run there for him. Currently leading the Grand National points with his other truck, the Rule 19, but took over the reins of that 1994 Dodge this afternoon for son Ike. As we see here on the replay, working that left side of the track, and then kind of let it drift towards the middle here. So not sure what the issue is with Terry Blackburn. We haven't seen him make his way to the starting line here.
So he might be using that the time that he can. Here he comes. So he may have been using the time to try to get that thing cooled off as much as he could and to get it back to the starting line. I'm sure Colin is definitely nervous as Terry being the last in the class. It's
1-2 in the points, just 1 point separating them. So it's going to be a really interesting summer with these two competitors running the Superstock Open class against each other, and no love lost. I mean, rivals out there, and it's great. Great for the sport. You love to see it. Alcohol versus diesel, and it's Terry Blackburn, the guy that's done this pretty much forever. Against the Rosses there, and of course, Dad Jody's been around a long time as well. So you gotta. But of course, Terry working the alcohol side of things, and of course the Rosses with the diesels over the years.
Yep, hopefully he got it cooled down enough to get the thing lit and make a nice pass. I'm sure he'll try everything in his power to ensure he makes a decent pass for sure. So I noticed they put the Metos tires back on Cody's tractor after running Firestones for so long, so I'm sure they're figuring that out. And then I know Terry still runs the Firestones on the back of his, so we'll see what kind of pass he can make here.
What kind of temperatures are we looking after a run with an alcohol tractor, Brandon?
So down the track, you're going to be running 1250, 1300 degrees with intake temperatures upwards of 500. So, you take that across the cast iron motor, they're going to build some heat.
He's going to get down here. Now 3:48.81 was the mark to beat here in the Superstock Open class. And we will wait officially. But from here, Brandon looks a little bit short.
Yeah, I think he's going to come up a little bit short, find himself in that second spot. And definitely made a good run. Better pass now than it was on the first one for sure. So hopefully everything checks out good and they live to pull another day.
So 324 and 36 for Terry this afternoon. We'll put him in that number 2 spot here. So that looks like that will conclude the class this afternoon. As not sure what happened. We should have John Raymond. So we still, I haven't heard anything on John back there, but we will wait and see officially. We had, like we said, quite a few scratches here. The class was kind of tough on everybody yesterday.
It was.
So we should have Lisa Peterson up next on the 4-wheel drive side, Anna Mangan, and then Greg Hitchcock will be our next 3 up there. And looks like we got the telehandler there. This might be it. So this might be it for him. Good job, guys. And I think that might be it, Brandon. Now, what's interesting about this, with Colin Ross taking the victory, that's his first ever Superstock Open win. He's done a couple with PPL. Okay. He's won a couple in PPL, but he's never done it on the NTPA side. So very impressive. All right, Lisa Peterson, first of the 2 Profab entries on the 4-wheel drive side. Lisa coming off a 3rd place finish, the big event in Farley. They built a new truck this year for them. They've been working, they built that new one last year and kind of shared the truck. But this year here, they had the other truck done, and Lisa's been laying down some good runs. And good to see no hop out there. I'm kind of happy to see that.
And I know she suffered some couple back injuries and neck injuries as well. So that smooth passes with these trucks are definitely the good thing. So
yeah, we'll get the numbers in here. 342 and 64. 342 and 64.
Yeah, just a little short. It never really sounded like it pulled that motor down to really lug it like what Rob was talking about. It's kind of interesting on how some of these work, on the diesel super guys, they drive them out so far before they can actually get them hooked up, and then the mod trucks, it seems like they are able to get after them a little bit quicker, and I'm sure that, of horsepower related, but
So congratulations to the Ross family as Colin will pick up that first Grand National win, Superstock Open side, and short class this afternoon. We didn't have, last night I think we had eight entries in the class, and boy, we decimated here. But nonetheless, it was the Terry and Colin show this afternoon. And, Brandon, thanks for joining us this afternoon, spending a little bit of your time with us, and we thanks for the insight with the alcohol tractors out there. Good luck to you guys tonight, and hope to see the Phillips tractors up on top here tonight.
Yeah, no, that would be that'd be great. We're looking forward to a great event and some great runs. So we'll see what we can do.
All right, so Brandon Phillips joining us here this afternoon on Full Pull Live here as we bring in the modified class. Will be our next classic competition here. As a great show here. So continuing on here with the 4-wheel drive trucks, as we also have got, we're about a third of the way through the 4-wheel drives, as we'll bring in our modified expert, Mr. Todd Feist. Todd, good to see you again.
Well, it's good to be here. I think you might be stretching a little bit by saying expert.
Well, we saw the big victory in Fort Recovery last week. We saw a nice run last night. The tractor is starting to be friendly again with you.
It is, and they made some changes in the sled this year that makes it a lot smoother in the light unlimited or light mod class. And the region class, we've got a lot of experience in that class, so it's a little easier for us to hit the mark.
So, Todd, the light modifieds, we saw them run last night. When will they be running again here in Rockwell?
We run tomorrow, I believe at noon, the noon session tomorrow. And looking forward to it to see if we can, the track was really tricky last night because they had to peel so much dirt off. The dirt underneath was not conditioned, didn't have time to do that. So it was very tricky.
All right, so Anna Mangan, Goodhue, Minnesota, with the first of 2 trucks the Mangans will have, the Bounty Hunter Chevrolet. And Well, we're kind of falling into that groove over on the four-wheel drive side here as we had that great run for Rob Foster at 380 plus. And since then, we've kind of gone backward here a little bit with our distances here. And situation, Todd, where the track will settle itself in.
Yep, and Rob obviously had just about the perfect setup. It literally stopped his tires in their tracks, and he mentioned that he thought he might have hurt his motor, so I was glad to see they didn't change it. It's Rob is just a seasoned veteran in that class, and he laid down a just picture-perfect pass.
All right, so 7,500-pound modified class here as we'll start with our test puller here. Got to be Tommy Owens and the Ramblin' Rose, and Tommy, a three-time winner here in Rockwell, Iowa, really has the hot setup here in this track. And just like that, Todd, he runs it right to this left-hand corner here, and that's kind of the Tommy Owens style run here.
Yeah, he doesn't hesitate to get after it, and I couldn't see his legs to see if he was pedaling the brakes at all, but he was heading over here to the left side pretty hard there for a second.
So 7,500-pound modified class. We've got, update on the points here from last night. We had a little bit of change as the Brandon Simon tractor pulled away in the points. Dirt Slinger back to the number 2 spot. Now Steve Bunnage moved up to the number 3 spot in points. And then we had Jeff Rose move up to number 4, and then Tommy Owens with the Ramblin' Rose, who'll move up a couple positions into that number 5 spot here this afternoon. So we'll see if we can get a word with Tommy after he made his run here. As we'll send it down trackside. Jason Schultz looks like he's got our Super Stock Open winner.
Friday afternoon, Colin Ross wins the Super Stock Open class. Colin, how you feeling, buddy?
Pretty good. It was a short class, but definitely some good competitors in it, and just made a pretty good A to B run. And on an afternoon track, first class, it's always tough, to figure out what you want to do weight-wise and tire pressure, but I think we hit it pretty spot on, and the tractor's running good. So we'll go back, check it over, and maybe pull tonight. We'll see.
This is kind of like one of those, like in golf, when the Tiger Slam, you win all the majors at one time. Trying to come on a big weekend like this, trying to run a diesel super stock 4 times in one weekend. Kudos to you, my man.
Well, I appreciate it. Certainly goes back to a lot of the guys back at the shop, at Ross Tractor to help us get this thing here, and all the guys at Chaos Fabrication and all the guys at Weimer. That's what makes that tractor tick. And it's not just me and Dad. There's a lot of good people who makes that happen. So we're just trying to prove it can be done, hopefully, but we'll see. We're just taking it one pass at a time right now, so we'll see.
Awesome. Thanks for your time. Congratulations, Colin.
Thank you.
All right, Greg Hitchcock over there on the four-wheel drive side, the one more time entry. Kind of an interesting story there with Greg Hitchcock doing the driving. He's out of northern Pennsylvania, driving here for Galen Young out of Kentucky, so kind of a Kentucky-Pennsylvania mix here, and more or less Greg is the hired gun on this truck, been running it all season. But yeah, they picked this truck up out of North Carolina and been running it here on the modified circuit.
It looks like they had a good setup. He made a pretty good pass there, moved into third place, it looks like.
So we'll see here what the distance. Yeah, it's a good one. 370.07. 370.07 will move him into that number 3 spot here this afternoon.
Yeah, that was a good solid pass. I don't think I could ever drive one of those trucks. The patience it takes to get those things down the track, I just don't think I have it.
You're a hammer down kind of guy? Or,
well,
you got so much time before you have to?
Well, with the mod tractors, typically within about a half a second or a second, you're pretty much wide open. And I have a hard time with that. I sometimes wait too long on the mods. But I know Brandon is leading the points, and he never hesitates. He is he's hammered down, but he gets it done. That thing is it's like it's on a rail.
Yeah, it's amazing how this tractor doesn't matter what track, what sled you hook to it. This tractor just has been amazing here, and 3 victories here on the Grand National Circuit so far here in 2025. And just a couple weeks ago, Brandon made the comment about running in Bowling Green against the Unlimiteds. That'll be pretty interesting because we've seen time to time, some of the modifieds have come up and actually won classes in the Unlimited. So
yeah, I think Bill Leishner's done that a couple times.
Yep.
He steps up and keeps pretty much his normal setup, but it just points to how good a puller he is.
Oh, absolutely. And we talk about, overdrive limits between the modified class and the unlimited class. So there's one of your big differences you're looking at.
You can tell that tractor was kind of hooking and unhooking a little bit on him, and it almost sounded like he pedaled it, but he didn't. It was just the way the dirt is hooking and letting loose, and he was doing that last night in the light mod class. Well, both mod classes.
Last night we were sitting, Joe Ader had mentioned that they're trying a new set of tires on this tractor. Not sure if they've still got them on. I would imagine they would for this afternoon show. But looking to do double duty here today for Brandon Simon. He's going to make this hook and hit the road and head down to Mount Sterling for another modified hook tonight. So they're going to...
Yeah, those guys, it's a good thing they're young. I don't know how they do it.
So 3:42 and 94, the lead distance over on the modified side, as Brandon's going to go 3:32 and 20. So about 10 feet behind Tommy Owens this afternoon. And I don't know, a situation where that number one hook is going to help you here in the afternoon?
It very well could, yeah. I had the number one hook last night, and the tractor got all out of shape on me and stuff and hit the wheelie bars a couple times. But I think having that early hook kind of helped me a little bit, although the starting line came around better last night.
So on the four-wheel drive side, the hometown guy from up the road, Mason City, Iowa. This is Jamie Bush with his newest truck, the Wild Ride 2018 Chevy 2500, and a two-time Region 5 champion with the NTPA circuit. And, of course, Todd, you guys have been Region 2 for all these years, and out here in the West, they've had, Region 5 kind of went away. They've still got Region 3 here, but a lot of great regional action out here.
Yeah, I think they kind of combined Region 3 and 5 because Region 5 wasn't getting a lot of participation, so they kind of combined them, I believe. And but yeah, Region 2, we have a plethora of hooks there. The mod class had something like 26 hooks this year.
Yeah, you guys have kind of split into an east and west or north-south and, different times and different things.
North-south, and it gives you 12 to 14 hooks a year, which is plenty. And we still, even though we're running Grand National Light, we still hit several region events. We're of an age where it's a little more difficult for us to make all those events. It's a lot of work.
All right, looks like we've got Jason Schultz down trackside. He's going to talk with the local hometown guy.
I was going to get an interview there with Jamie Bush, our hometown guy. Everybody has a hometown puller, and this is his hometown pull, but he's got to get back to his other truck. So he promised me an interview a little bit later, working down here trackside with my buddy Dan Mayer. Back to you, Dan.
All right. Well, that explains why we didn't get the interview. So Jamie Bush running 2 here this afternoon, and we'll catch up with him later. No big deal. As we've got Tommy Corsa, Blue Ridge, Georgia, making his way out on the track here, the American-made. And 1 year ago, we saw Tommy Corsa pick up his first Grand National win right here in Rockwell, Iowa. Good-looking truck here. 2024 Ford Ranger. Got that top chopped a little bit. But we've seen Georgia here kind of be a hotbed for four-wheel drives. We've got quite a few trucks coming out of Georgia.
Georgia has always been a hotbed. Virginia, Georgia, that area has always been a hotbed for four-wheel drives, and a lot of them out there.
Yeah, actually started in the South many years ago, Florida and up into Virginia.
Going back to the gentleman saying he had to get back to his second truck, and we run into that quite often, is I'll make a run or Terry will make a run, and we have to get back quickly to the starting line to get the other tractor down the track. And sometimes it puts a little undue pressure on you.